There are rules to any long-time rivalry. First, win the last. Second, hardware is important. Next, trust your leaders on your march to the top. Remember, stars shine when the lights are the brightest at both ends of the floor. And most importantly, seize every opportunity. It's UConn, Rutgers, next on CSTV. Does it get any better than this? A sellout crowd, the Lewis Brown Athletic Center says no, and we would agree. Tonight, one of the best women's basketball matchups you will find is on CSTV. It's #1 and undefeated UConn taking on 7th-ranked Rutgers in Piscataway. Excitement is building. Here's why. The Big East standings 1 and 2. You see it. UConn, Rutgers. Rutgers just lost to West Virginia not too long ago, so they need to redeem themselves here tonight. How are you? It's Greg Amsinger and Debbie Antonelli. You just saw the standings. It looks like Rutgers is neck and neck with the Huskies, but if you look at the stats, Deb, UConn's in a league of its own.
Well, there's a reason why Connecticut is #1 and undefeated in the nation. It's because they dominate both sides of the basketball. On the offensive end, one of the best at sharing the ball. Defensively, their numbers are just as gaudy. One of the reasons why they are so successful right now has been the play of Maya Moore. Just a freshman, 17 points a game, leads Connecticut. She's one of the toughest checks in all of college basketball. Off the bounce, she's good, stretches it deep with her three-point shooting, and there is nothing missing in her offensive skill set.
Maya helps make up a great front line for the Huskies. On the other side, the Scarlet Knights aren't as deep up front, but they do have Kia Vaughn.
Nobody sits, posts, ducks in, pinches, seals like Kia Vaughn on the interior. She has got to play big, block to block on both ends. If Rutgers is going to win today, she has got to have a gigantic game on the boards.
All right, so let me get this straight. A team that plays its home games in New Jersey is taking on an undefeated team from New England. Sounds familiar to me. Tip-off of UConn Rutgers is next. NCAA basketball on CSTV is brought to you by EAS. Don't waste your workout. Some rich history in this building they call the Rack. Lewis Brown Athletic Center is what the official title is, but on the floor it's the Rack, and we're getting set for UConn and Rutgers, two great programs with two amazing head coaches. Gino Auriemma in his 23rd season. The man's won 5 national championships, 15 Big East regular season titles, and he hopes that the players he has this year can get him his 16th. And look at the starting 5. Montgomery Dixon is the point guard now with the injury to Mel Thomas. Maya Moore, Brittany Hunter getting the start, and Tina Charles. Look at the starting 5 for Rutgers. Essence Carson's the senior. Epiphany Prince, most dangerous offensive player. Mattia Ajban, another senior backcourt player. Along with Kia Vaughn, Rashida Junaid gets the surprise start for C. Vivian Stringer, who is in her 13th season as head coach at Rutgers. She is approaching a milestone for her coaching career, only 5 wins away from 800 in her career. 3 teams to the Final Four. No other coach has ever done that in men's or women's basketball. Take a look at the officials for tonight's game. Dee Kantner, Tina Napier, Rochelle Jones, and then the series history. The Huskies 20-5 all-time versus Rutgers, but have lost 3 of the last 5 after winning both regular season games against the Knights last year. They lost in the championship game of the Big East tournament. So, Debbie Antonelli, Rashida Junaid getting the start to help out Kia Vaughn. You see there, why go with Junaid in the starting 5?
You need help on the glass to control the tempo. Connecticut is a rhythm and read team, and in order to be able to contend with their high-powered offense, Rutgers has to slow this thing down, and to do that, they got to board it.
Junaid, 43 in white. This place is packed. Off the opening tip, Brittany Hunter resets the offense. Montgomery for 3. I can figure she's going to do a lot of that tonight.
Well, she has looked to be offensive-minded since moving to the 2-guard spot. It's a move that has paid off very well for Gino Auriemma.
These first few minutes of this game, very crucial for Rutgers. UConn has blown teams out, really put the game away in the first 5 minutes. Kia Vaughn using her pivot foot and the window.
She has to be productive. She has to be a threat. She needs to continue to work like that for the basketball inside.
Points in the paint, a crucial statistic for opponents of the Huskies. They dominate in points in the paint, and Rutgers gets the first two here tonight. Steal, Epiphany Prince, and the finish.
The more Rutgers makes Connecticut take it out of the net, the better they have a chance to set up their defense, which is also very good. These are the two best defensive teams in the Big East.
Lauren Dixon looked like she went the wrong way. Lauren Dixon, keep in mind, a true freshman, something we need to take note of while you watch this game.
And when we spoke to Renee Montgomery at shoot-around today, she said this is by far the loudest place they will go this season, and they have had to work on their communication because of that issue. We've seen 2 miscommunications on the offensive end for Connecticut.
It's an intimidating place to play. Rutgers off to a quick 4-0 start. Essence Carson, pull up. Good defense in her face, Maya Moore. Prince. Brittany Hunter, who's so productive in the minutes she does play.
You've got to match a very talented front line for Connecticut if you're Rutgers, and that means having to deal with Tina Charles on the low block right now. Vaughn's got that assignment.
Charles, with the right hand, makes it look easy.
Yeah, she does make it look easy. She is so good going over her left shoulder.
Tina Charles, a sophomore, former National High School Player of the Year.
Rutgers will be very content to walk it up the floor. They want to short possessions, use the shot clock, and making plays inside 10 seconds will be critical to them to have success.
Mattia Ajavon has it. What a career she's had, the senior. Fade away on the baseline, an air ball. Hunter comes down with it, and there's a foul. Looks like it's going to be on Janai.
Connecticut doing a great job feeding it inside with space and a one-on-one. Tina Charles on that low block, as well as she shoots it, 61% from the floor. On that side of the floor, Greg, I think she's more closer to 70 to 75.
And they're going to need Rashida Janai in the game to help out on the block. She picks up her first foul. Foul trouble, something C. Vivian Stringer does not want to worry about in this game. Near steal there by Rutgers. Hunter has it. It's going to have to do something with it. She attacks the glass. And one.
Brittany Hunter, 6'3", a senior, can play about 15 minutes a game. Missed 6 games this year, but she's good for about 15, and her play has gone up. She even played 21 minutes in the Louisville game. Strong inside, and Rutgers is not bringing any help to the low block right now. Content to play one-on-one against the size of Connecticut.
Brittany Hunter has missed 3 of the last 5 games. Knocks down the free throw. She's been struggling from the free throw line, just 40% on the year.
Well, none of the post players for Connecticut shoot free throws very well, and it really hasn't been a factor yet this season.
They're winning games by an average of 35 points.
They're killing people, so it hasn't been close. Only twice have they scored less than 70.
It's an amazing statistic.
Look at Janai working for position inside. It's a great job by her to flash to the middle and pick up the foul on Tina Charles.
Coach Stringer pulled Rashida aside before the Pitt game, which was the most recent game for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Said, you're going to play, we need you to play better. And she really was a big reason why Rutgers went on the road and came back to beat Pitt. She had 11 points, 6 rebounds, almost all of it in the second half of that game. Ajavon, so quick. Trying to dump down to Kia Vaughn, and she walked with it.
I can't even believe she caught that basketball in traffic with 3 blue jerseys. See, that's not her fault she traveled. That is not a good read defensively. Look at all the help inside trying to make that pass. Dee Kantner on the baseline calls for travel.
Dixon to Hunter, back door, Montgomery with the reverse. It almost goes. Prince comes away with it. They go to Janai, turn around, and it falls in.
So far, Rutgers getting points in the paint, so critical against that Connecticut size inside. Both Vaughn and Junaid with a basket.
And you called Junaid and Vaughn two centers.
I call them two centers. They both are very good with their back to the basket.
Maya Moore misses. Tina Charles with the foul.
You cannot give Connecticut extra possessions, and offensive rebounding will be critical for them. They are so efficient offensively. They can score from all 5 positions. 67% of their baskets are assisted. They are a very fluid offensive team.
Look at Renee Montgomery with the steal. And the finish on the other end. Ajimon back the other way. Prince in the corner. That possession, too quick of a trigger, you think?
I think I was just going to say it might have been too quick for Vivian Stringer's liking, but Epiphany Prince had a wide open look in transition.
Montgomery in and out. Moore on the follow, off the window, it doesn't fall. Hunter, UConn dominating the glass. And it's going to stay with the Huskies.
Yeah, Connecticut, great effort on the boards.
Right now, Renee Montgomery enjoying the 2-guard spot, putting UConn up by 3.
This basketball season, gear up your favorite sports fan at fanstore.com. Enter MyCSTV, all lowercase, for free shipping on orders over $75. Go to fanstore.com.
Every one of the 16 teams in the Big East Conference, I mean, they're all competitors.
UConn, Rutgers, Notre Dame, Louisville, all these great schools.
Each night, you know, if you don't bring it, that you're gonna get embarrassed.
It's my life. I mean, I just love going out there and having fun.
Every year it gets more and more competitive, and right now the Big East is dangerous.
There's no teams that you can slack off, because any team in the Big East can beat you.
Each night, you're going against the best.
There's no easy game. You have to always bring your A game. You have to work hard, and the Big East just continues to push me there.
The rack is not an easy place to play. UConn up early, 9-6 over the Scarlet Knights. Well, the #1 women's team is on the floor tonight. Saturday at 4, CSTV as the #1 men's team in the nation. Chris Douglas-Roberts, CDR, Derrick Rose, and the rest of the Memphis Tigers look to stay undefeated against the UCF Knights. It's NCAA basketball possession, CSTV. I don't know if there's a team in America that can beat the Tigers right now. They are incredible. Balanced, so many future NBAers on that club.
Yeah, John Calipari has done a fantastic job with that team, and I love his philosophy. Get it to the rim or shoot the 3. No mid-range game. I kind of like that.
Well, in men's games, foggy who's #2. People say Kansas. In the women's game, it seems clear. It's UConn and Tennessee.
Yeah, I think there's no question about it. Tennessee and Connecticut are the 2 best teams in the country right now. And then the list is short behind them, including North Carolina, Maryland, and this Rutgers team, along with Baylor out of the Big 12.
Look at Kia Vaughn knocking down a 15-footer. That was nice.
Okay, that is going to force Connecticut to come out and contend with her in the high post area, an area that she is working on to improve upon offensively.
Sharday Houston in the game, and she knocks down her first bucket. That may be the most talented player off the bench in the country.
I think Gino Auriemma will say she will be the biggest mystery of his coaching career because of her potential, but because of her inconsistencies.
A senior when she came out of high school was the recruit.
Well, he's got a lot of the recruits on the floor.
It's a team loaded with them. Epiphany Prince to Ajimon. She thought about it. Maya Moore was able to recover defensively. Look how quick Ajimon is. Can't knock down the shot.
Yeah, too much dribbling right there. Doesn't shift the defense, allows Connecticut to board it.
Moore from the wing. Carson looks to run. 3-on-1. Prince got up in the air, kicks it to Ajimon. Following her shot. Foul on the floor.
Yeah, 3-on-1, and Rutgers doesn't convert. Connecticut hustling back in transition.
The tempo faster than I expected for Rutgers here in the first half. Seems like they're running more.
Well, they're running off of turnovers and long rebounds, but otherwise they're content to walk it up the court.
Maya Moore picks up her first foul.
It's almost like in football, time of possession. They got to maximize their time of possession, which will shrink the number of Connecticut possessions.
The offense almost helping out their defense in a way. Essence Carson. So many close shots, but there's Kia Vaughn.
Keeps the ball high, finishes with her great 6'4" frame on the interior.
She has 6 points. And it looks like she may just be the key to the game, Debbie. Houston.
I told you she was the key to the game.
That's why I said that.
But she's got
Tina Charles can't be stopped.
You got a rebound. You cannot give Connecticut a second chance. So just because you're scoring 2 on the other end, Vivian Stringer's looking at it like you're giving up 2 on the other end if you're not rebounding it defensively.
Tisha Soignier in the game, number 11 for UConn. Good defense, near steal, and then a turnover. Prince gets caught in the air for the second time, not knowing where she wants to go.
Yeah, you jump up in the air and you're trying to make a play, and Vivian Stringer looks over and tells him to settle down, slow it down a little bit, getting over anxious. And Connecticut is a team that averages almost 83 points a game, one of the highest scoring teams in the country. Not many can score over 80 consistently, and they've had no trouble doing it.
You've seen this team beat another by 50 points. They've done it many times this year. Montgomery.
I picked Renee Montgomery to be an All-American at the beginning of the year, and she has done nothing but impress all season long. Moving from the point to the 2, it's a little subtle. She's not completely the 2 guard because she still has point guard responsibilities on the floor.
In UConn's last game against Providence, she had 8 points, 10 assists, a career high. Tia Vaughn has the hot hand, misses that shot. Ajavon with the loose ball rebound, and Prince walks with it. The sophomore, a couple turnovers for her in the first one.
And what Rutgers has to be careful of is getting complacent to settle for the jump shot. They've gone inside, they've scored on the blocks, now they've gotten away from that. Connecticut's defense is the best in the country because it's built inside out. They're forcing you to take those shots right now. You've got to show more patience.
8 minutes in, already 4 turnovers for the Scarlet Knights. Averaging 15 turnovers a game. Soignier, no good. Prince comes away with it. She had Sade Houston on her back, and let's call it play. Epiphany.
Now, see, I think that's a good shot to take for Epiphany Prince because it's in transition and it's in her skill set.
What a pass from Soignier to Montgomery.
Renee Montgomery is thriving as the shooter for this team right now. She's picked up where Mel Thomas left off, and her numbers have been outstanding in the last 6 since the Mel Thomas ACL injury.
She says she likes playing point guard more. She thinks it's more fun to make everybody on the team happy.
She can make everybody happy playing a 2 and shooting it like that.
Exactly.
This is a very unselfish Connecticut team. They do not care who scores. They do not look for individual credit. And Gino Auriemma has done a fantastic job since the injuries, putting this all thing together.
Welcome back to the Rack. UConn up by 8. 11:04 to go in the first half. Greg Amsinger, Debbie Antonelli with you with our Big East game of the week. And Deb, if you're C. Vivian Stringer, you don't want things to get out of hand early. You're down 8. What adjustments do you make?
Well, you've got to get the ball back inside. I think that's where they had early success. The front line for Rutgers is being productive. They're scoring on that end, but they're not boarding it on the other end. Connecticut doing a fantastic job. 6 offensive rebounds already in the first half for UConn, and that has allowed them to get some second chance points inside.
An important stat, 12 points in the paint for UConn, only 4 for Rutgers. When UConn dominates down low, it's almost a given. They're going to get the victory. Once again, UConn undefeated, 21-0, winning by an average of 35 points per game. Coming in here, one of the most hostile environments to play in, frankly, because the fans here don't like UConn.
I mean, there's no question. This place is packed and it is hot in here. I mean, we're working up a sweat in February in New Jersey.
Cold outside, steamy in the rack. Tiajvan at the line, knocks down both.
This has always been a tough place to come as an opposing team. The crowd is knowledgeable and they're into it.
Sade Houston. Guarded by Heather Zurich, who's checked into the game. Out of bounds. Rutgers ball. Zurich was a starter for a majority of the season. But C. Vivian Stringer told us she didn't like the matchup with her on the floor.
Well, she just took her out. So what she was doing was giving Epiphany Prince another breather. And that's a role that Heather Zurich plays now. And Heather is fine with that role because it helps her team win.
Zurich is the shooter, not known for her intense in-your-face defense. which is what the Scarlet Knights need to get this upset victory tonight.
And the zone has been very solid for Connecticut, doing what I thought they would do is force Rutgers to the perimeter. And as I mentioned before, you asked me how Rutgers could get going. They need to go back inside to Kia Vaughn, who's got to continue to work for the basketball.
The officials are talking here. Maya Moore was able to get this steal. She was about to take off, but the ball went off the official's foot and went out of bounds. She's like, well, that wasn't my fault.
And they're saying that Moore had possession. That's why they put 30 on the clock.
In the game, Maya McCurdy. The jumper's no good. There's a foul on the play.
Yeah, they have been able to enter to the high post, but only one basket has fallen from that area, and that was Vaughn in her first attempt from the high post area.
Maya McCurdy, an athletic player, and they're going to call, is that an intentional? Maya Moore picks up her second foul.
She was trying to box out Kia Vaughn on the inside. 2 fouls for Moore.
Essence Carson goes back, gets the ball back to Ajavon. What a play from Mattia Ajavon.
Explosive, like she shot out of a cannon on the baseline.
She has 4 so far. Look at the trap and a near turnover for the Scarlet Knights. They wanted that one.
This is the 55 defense that Vivian Stringer loves to employ. Look at this move by Mattia Ajavon, who does a great job getting the roll, the step on the baseline. Very athletic play. 55 defense, full court man-to-man. It's a Rutgers trademark. And
let's see how Dixon handles it, the freshman.
They worked on it for about an hour and a half at shoot-around today.
Sade Houston, that was Soigné running a perfect dish there to Houston.
They attacked the middle of the floor, and then they attacked the rim. It's the way to beat it.
Sade off the bench with 4 points. Lead back to 6 for UConn. Prince, top of the arc. Just short. Maya Moore can do it all, including a rebound. Montgomery pulling up.
Oh, she is strong right now. She is feeling it. And she pulls up in transition because she sees Tina Charles as inside position on Kia Vaughn to rebound. Smart.
Rutgers has a 4-point lead on Renee Montgomery. She has 10. 23-14 UConn.
Very tough to dribble penetrate against the zone. You got to get a penetrating pass to the block, but Vaughn wasn't ready to receive it.
Epiphany Prince gets her shot swatted away. Some confusion after the steal between Tina Charles and Sade Houston.
Pulls the trigger from 3 in transition. If you don't match up with her, she is going to stick it. You know, you always say run back to the paint, but you got to run to the 3-point line when Renee Montgomery's got the ball.
Epiphany Prince trying to find her stroke. Can't do it at the moment. McCurdy with an offensive rebound for Rutgers. Maya McCurdy, one player off the bench, number 24 in white, does a good job of playing in-your-face defense and can offensive rebound. Passing, still working on that one as Renee Montgomery gets the steal. Looks ahead. Kia Vaughn able to get back and tap the ball out of bounds.
That is 5 turnovers for Rutgers and a couple of steals for Connecticut on those 5 turnovers, which allows them to transition. Rutgers can't set up their D if they're turning it over in the live ball situation. If you're going to turn it over, you better throw it in the 5th row so that they can set up their D.
23-14 the score. UConn Rutgers, Sade Houston. Ajavon with the rebound.
We have some fantastic guard play in this game right here. Ajavon with the basketball. Renee Montgomery for Connecticut.
A foul on the play. It looks to me, and I've been watching Mattia Ajavon since her freshman year. It looks like she brought her A game tonight, Ted.
Well, she's got
extra swagger in her step.
She's got good management of what Vivian Stringer wants. She's been a starter almost for her complete 4-year career here. And of course, the experience of going to the national championship last year with all 5 players back has certainly helped the team this year.
Trying to double the ball. Ajavon dribbles out of it.
And look at how much she stretches the trap.
Essence Carson. She'll shoot with 13 on the shot clock. What a rebound from Lauren Dixon. Now watch this freshman take off. She's fouled.
Now, Lauren Dixon told me this morning that as a high school player last year, she was sitting in the bleachers down on Rutgers end, so she's experienced this environment, and she knew exactly what she was getting into when she came here for today's game.
UConn with a 9-point lead on the road. Rutgers has won 10 straight here. Someone found that Huskies or Scarlet Knights site that gives you only the content you care about. Then create one today at Fans Only. Fans Only lets you customize your team's news, scores, and stats from more than 5,000 sources. Connect with other fans at virtual tailgates, show off your game predicting prowess, and much more. Go to fansonly.com, the sports site as unique as you are. And Renee Montgomery, as unique as they come in women's hoops.
One of the best guards in the nation because she has the complete game. Defensively, she can generate steals. Her shot prep is outstanding before she catches. In transition, she can pull the trigger quickly. She's having a big-time offensive night. 4 for 7 from the floor. She's got a couple of triples already and is in complete command of what Gino Auriemma wants offensively.
Epiphany Prince, the sophomore, is guarding her now. Here's Sharday Houston. That's short. Ajavon with another rebound. 4 rebounds now from T. Ajavon.
This is a small lineup on the floor, a very defensive-minded lineup for Gino Auriemma when he goes with his 3 small guards in the backcourt.
Great position there for Kia Vaughn. Can she finish? Yes.
When she catches with 2 feet in the paint and she gets you on the backside, she is going to score 2 points, or she's going to go to the line.
Vaughn with 8 points. Sharday Houston's coming the game and she wants to shoot.
Yeah, she's looking to score on Vaughn and she wants to pull her away from the basket. Kia Vaughn is the best shot blocker in the Big East, so if you can get her away from the rim, you can open up the lane.
You don't know what you're going to get with Sharday Houston. So far, Gino likes what he sees. Ajavon pull-up, good defense from Houston. She sprints the other end.
Vivian Stringer would prefer 2, 3, 4 passes offensively before the quick jumper.
Houston going back to work. It's out of bounds off Zurich.
You know, it's almost like Sharday Houston got too excited when she turned and saw Heather Zurich was on her. It's a good call from the bench. That matchup right there is to Connecticut's advantage.
Heather Zurich, once again, in 21 and white, known as a shooter. So defensively, she's going to have issues with that athletic UConn group.
Well, her foot speed's an issue guarding perimeter players. Her lack of bulk is an issue guarding bigger post players. And Sharday Houston is almost twice her size weight-wise. She's just stronger.
One to shoot. Miscommunication there. Lauren Dixon didn't know what was on the shot clock. And that's almost basically a turnover.
You know, Renee Montgomery said to us today that they have to use hand signals to run the offense and to call plays. Usually they don't have to do that because you can hear. And here, in this environment, she didn't think they would be able to do that. So this is the one place where they have to use hand signals to run their sets.
That's amazing. It is that loud in the rack. One of the best places for college basketball. Fantastic facility. Kia Vaughn back out to Ajavon. Get it right back to her, going up against Brittany Hunter. Foul. Looks like it's on the floor.
That is a great repost inside by Kia Vaughn. Trust that she's going to get the basketball back. Watch Vaughn go to work right here. She's got Brittany Hunter behind her. Nice show of the basketball. Head and shoulders pump fake. Gets Hunter leaning and draws the contact.
The first foul on Brittany Hunter. Prince, foul, almost banked it in. Epiphany Prince now 1 of 7 from the floor. Is she trying to force it a little too much in your opinion?
Well, that's a set play, you know, offensively coming out of bounds, and she had a step on Lauren Dixon. No, I don't think she's trying to force it. I think she's taking shots that are available to her, and I do not think she has taken. I thought she took a quick shot earlier. That was a bad shot. Otherwise, I think her shot selection has been good.
Trying to find the hot hand. Epiphany Prince, the leading scorer for the Scarlet Knights. 13 points a game. 70% from the line.
When you're a scorer like Prince, this is a great way to get yourself going by getting to the free throw line.
Zurich checks out.
The basket she had was off a steal early on in the game. It was the second basket for Rutgers. So far she's getting her offense off her D and off the free throw line.
Full court pressure. Here comes the 55, and there's a steal. And Essence Carson stepped out of bounds.
And that is going to infuriate Gino Auriemma because they spent time on this. He asked his team to be patient. He told them not to panic. They knew the 55 was coming because he said we've not handled it well in years past. Right here, this is almost a great play by Essence Carson, who is a two-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
Essence Carson, her offensive production down in the past couple of years. There's Kylie McLaren. She checks into the game for the first time for Gino Auriemma. Lauren Dixon, the freshman, handling the pressure. And they're going to say the ball's out of bounds.
Wow, that was
some contact there, Debbie. What'd you
huge.
think?
Well, I thought that was a foul on Rutgers. I mean, watch Dixon right here. Ajavon tries. Watch the blow-by speed by Prince. Montgomery gets beat off the bounce. That's quick on quick right there. We're just starting to see Prince get going in the basketball game, and she is the leading scorer on the season for Rutgers.
What kind of player is she? In comparison to Ajavon and Essence Carson, they say she's the most talented offensive player on the squad. What does she bring to the table the other two don't?
Well, that's what she brings. The ability to shoot the three consistently, the explosiveness off the dribble, good enough defensively with their quickness, smart. And they've allowed the sophomore to take the reins of the offense. It's a very mature thing by the Rutgers upperclassmen. They've been to the NCAA championship game. They want to go back. They don't care whose shoulders they ride to get there.
And what kind of experience was it for a freshman then, Epiphany Prince, to play in a national championship?
It was an unbelievable experience and one that you cherish, that you want to work hard to get back to. Here comes a 55 again.
Rutgers on a 6-2 run, cutting the deficit to 5. Soignier has it. Look at this pressure from the Scarlet Knights.
It's just quick and it's long and it's committed.
McLaren back to Montgomery, watch out. And Tina Charles working on the offensive board.
See, Rutgers does a fantastic job of defending Connecticut. You see what a panic they were in. They're rushing. Even Renee Montgomery with the quick trigger. Vivian Stringer told us this morning that Connecticut is a rhythm team, and we've got to disrupt them. We've got to change our looks defensively. That was a fantastic defensive possession, but they didn't finish it because Tina Charles is going to the free throw line off an offensive rebound.
Second chance points for UConn. Deadly. You can't give them second chance points. Tina Charles capitalizing right now at the free throw line. Sharday Houston checks back in, the senior. Off to a good start here tonight against Rutgers. Rolls around and in for the sophomore, Tina Charles. Comes in, averaging 14 points and 10 rebounds a game. She has 8 already here in the first half.
Connecticut has mixed up their defenses as well. We've seen zone, we've seen some man. We've not seen really any full court pressure.
And this will be a backcourt violation on the Scarlet Knights. We talked to Coach Stringer, and it blew me away. Her team is 18-3, and it just seemed like she was so unhappy with where they are right now.
Well, she's frustrated because usually she says the rule of thumb for Rutgers and her programs is by January, they're clicking. Well, it's February, and she's not comfortable with what she sees on the floor. And it's a veteran group. This is everybody back from last year's run to the Final Four.
They do have injuries, only 8 healthy players for the Scarlet Knights. Dixon shot no good. There's a defensive rebound. Kia Vaughn comes down with it.
Both these teams have injuries, and neither one of them has used it as an excuse. Connecticut down 2 starters to an ACL.
And they're still the most dominant team in Division I basketball. All right, we're down to 5 to shoot. T. Ajavon's going to have to throw one up. Dixon getting up.
Great defense by Dixon and good rebound.
Fast break opportunity. Foul on the play, and it looks like it's going to be on Ajavon. So Rutgers fighting to stay in this thing with a team that knows how to put teams away quickly.
Hey everyone, Adam Zucker with you from New York. Hope you're enjoying Rutgers and UConn. Coming up at halftime, we'll get to know Huskies star freshman Maya Moore and look at the impact she's already made in stores. But now, it's back to the rack on CSTV. See you at halftime.
UConn up by 7 over the Scarlet Knights, trying to improve to 22-0. It's amazing. This club is undefeated considering the injuries they've sustained. Junior guard Kalena Green tears the ACL in the right knee December 17th against South Carolina. Then another starter, senior guard Mel Thomas, tears her ACL and lateral meniscus January 15th at Syracuse. Now, Kalena Green gets the opportunity and the option to redshirt. But Mel Thomas, as a senior, played the majority of the season. She cannot redshirt. Her career is over. That is so sad.
Well, it is sad. And the ACL in the women's game this year is awful. But Connecticut, they have tightened the circle. And on the national scene, in the top 7, there are 11 ACLs, players that are not available to play. Connecticut, Tennessee, Maryland, and Stanford all have 2 players out with an ACL. North Carolina, Baylor, and Rutgers have 1. That's 11 in the top 7, Greg. And on the men's side, there's 2 in the top 25. Bobby Fraser at North Carolina, Mike Cook at Pittsburgh. It's not right.
How do you fix it? Is it something that can be fixed?
Well, I know a lot of coaches are going away from teaching the jump stop, because as you saw with Mel Thomas, it was a jump stop, non-contact. I've seen a bunch of them already this year. I've witnessed them. They're going to the 1-2 stop.
Kia Vaughn.
Kia Vaughn is having a gigantic game, exactly what we called for. She is 5 for 6 inside. Nice call from the high-low, good target hand.
And they continue to look for her down low. It's a 5-point ball game. Soigné, what a move, can't finish. Tina Charles, and the putback's good.
You know, a 50-50 ball right now is Tina Charles. She's getting shoulder to shoulder with the Rutgers front line, and she is fantastic rebounding.
10 points, 6 rebounds.
And she's quietly going about her job, doing work on the boards.
Averaging a double-double. What a fantastic freshman year she had, the National Freshman of the Year.
I got her with 4 offensive rebounds in the first half.
That three's no good, and there's going to be a foul. Looks like they may call it on Kia Vaughn. They do.
Kia Vaughn is playing like the dominant player we called for her to be for Rutgers to win at home. She has been strong on the inside. She has called for the basketball. She works, Greg, and she sits. Nobody sits in the post like she does.
It looks like she may sit on the bench because she picked up her second foul. Junaid is already ready to check in for her.
I would go right at Tina Charles right now to put the pressure on Vaughn. There's Charles calling for the basketball inside.
Ball's kicked out of bounds by Epiphany Prince. Under 2 to play here in the first half. 7-point ball game. Coming to you live from the rack in Piscataway, New Jersey. A sellout crowd on hand to watch the nation's #1 team, undefeated UConn, take on the Scarlet Knights. Last time these 2 teams played, Rutgers got the victory in the Big East Championship game. UConn didn't even score 50 points in that game. A walk by Lauren Dixon. Gino frustrated. Freshman mistakes. She's been thrown into the fire as a starter now that Mel Thomas is no longer available. Ajava all the way to the rim, trying her best to get back up there again, and she's fouled. Mati Ajava giving 110% in this first half.
She can turn the corner on a screen like nobody else. Look how she gets head and shoulders, just like a fullback running through the offensive line, and then the rebound in traffic. Creating her own offense, using her natural instincts as a terrific basketball player to get to the rim.
Ajava with 5 rebounds.
Man, that is quick right there. That is just flat out quickness.
You remember her freshman year, Deb? She was so fast. She was
Young
faster than
wild.
everyone else. Yeah, she was wild. It was still fun to watch, though.
She was.
She would sprint down the floor, and I don't think she knew where she was going. but it was just entertaining the entire time, and UConn's got to spend timeout.
Not one player was running towards the basketball, and even trying to inbound it that close to the baseline is not what Gino Auriemma wants, forcing them to use a timeout. You know the 55 is coming. Gino Auriemma told his team all morning that's what they worked on.
The defensive strategy of C. Vivian Stringer. She breaks this out at different times.
Look at Lauren Dixon just floating around in no man's land. You got a couple of players running away. You got Soigné who's finally coming back to the basketball, but it's too late. They put a big up front because they're trying to use a big. In this case, it was Tina Charles to enter the basketball, so you got more size. But Rutgers' quickness is really tough to simulate.
Rutgers, an amazing team defensively, and these stats will prove that.
And look, we talked about them being the two best in the Big East. These are two of the best nationwide. And you inbound the ball that close to the baseline, you're going to get trapped.
Throwing the ball in the middle of the floor. UConn, a scrum, and there's a foul on Essence Carson.
Wow. This game is elevating in physical play. It is perfect for Rutgers, just the way they want it.
UConn out of control.
No foul there. There's a contact there, and then Renee Montgomery with her hustle is going to pick up the foul and go to the free throw line.
Renee Montgomery as calm, cool, and collected as any player you will find in Division I basketball.
It is not a physical thing for Connecticut right now. It is a mental thing. They knew the pressure was coming. They talked about it, and they worked on it. Gino Auriemma was very clear in shoot-around what he expected them to do with the basketball. And when they did beat the pressure, they did score on the backside when they handled it and did not panic.
Gino watching his junior guard Montgomery attempt for her 12th point of the first half.
She gives them tremendous calmness, maturity, and composure on the floor against this pressure. They need to put the ball in her hands and let her deal with it.
Minute 17 to play in the first half. Look at the crossovers from Mathieu Agevon, and they're going to say she carried it. 8 turnovers now for the Scarlet Knights.
Wow, that's huge for Rutgers. It gives the ball back to Connecticut. Remember, we talked about shortening possessions. They're trying to close the gap at the half, and you're giving them another chance. 2 free throws last time, another possession here.
An important possession for UConn. Able to go up 9 or maybe double digits. Soigné has it, guarded by Agevon. 11 to shoot. 8. Dixon has it.
Carson on Montgomery.
Sade Houston may have to chuck it up. She does. Rebound by Janai.
Great defense by Carson to not let Montgomery catch in that possession.
Under 40 seconds to play. Agevon, foul on the floor.
Yeah, see, she knows right now that it does not matter whether it's Montgomery or Dixon. She can take them to the basket. She's had success against both.
We're in a 1-on-1 situation for the Scarlet Knights. If you're C. Vivian Stringer, are you happy with where you are right now, down 7?
You really think that Vivian Stringer is happy?
She's never happy.
No.
Neither is Gino.
Well, they both expect more. That's why they turned it over too much, both teams.
Missing the front end will not make C. Vivian Stringer happy. Under 30 seconds to play. Montgomery almost gets an acrobatic shot to fall, and it's going to stay with the Huskies.
A tough play for Montgomery to try to make.
Timeout Rutgers. So with under 25 seconds, Gino Auriemma looking at this first half, it seemed obvious. Renee Montgomery, they wanted to get her looks. They were able to do that early. She kind of went away for a while. So did Tina Charles. Offensively, what changed for the Huskies?
Well, one thing is they put Essence Carson on Montgomery, and she's the 2-time defensive Big East Player of the Year, so she's good, and she has lockdown ability. With that last possession right there, I think Coach Auriemma would have rather gone for the last shot than to force a quick shot. And They still get a chance to go for the last shot here. Rutgers is setting up their defense and what they're going to do should they be able to turn Connecticut over.
25 seconds to go here in the first half. Impressive stat here for the Scarlet Knights defense, Deb. Maya Moore, the leading scorer of the Huskies, 0 points in the first half. She's not in the game at the moment. Soigné has 20 seconds in the first half, 19.
And look at Carson, is not letting Montgomery be a part of the offense right now.
Last possession of the half.
Well, there's the switch on the screen. Switch back.
5, 4. Montgomery, what a way to finish the first half. 33-24, and Renee Montgomery with 14 points in the first half. She was dominant, Deb.
In essence, Carson is saying to Heather Zurich, why did you switch there? I had her. She wanted to stay with her. Zurich got in the way, allowed Montgomery to turn the corner. They've been switching on screens. Well, watch, Essence Carson's going to go under, and she has Montgomery, but Zurich gets in the way, and that allows Montgomery to get all the way to the rim.
Renee Montgomery, at the beginning of the year, was clearly UConn's point guard. With the injury of Mel Thomas, she's now the shooting guard, and man, can she shoot. 14 points in the first half for Montgomery. UConn up 33-24. Now it's time to send you to the Fieldhouse in New York for NCAA basketball at the half. Adam Zucker coming to you from New York.
Hey everyone, Adam Zucker back here in New York. Halftime between UConn and Rutgers from the RAC. The Huskies women's basketball program has seen its fair share of big names. Sue Bird, Rebecca Lobo, Diana Taurasi, and now Maya Moore. The forward from Lawrenceville, Georgia, has been named Big East Freshman of the Week a record 7 times already this season, while leading the Huskies to an undefeated start.
I think Maya kind of impressed everybody in practice before the season started when kids would work out. You could see that she had a different approach than a lot of freshmen do.
Before Maya came here in the program, I knew she was going to be an amazing player, just have an impact the first day of practice, first day of preseason. You know, she's just that kind of person. She's just a competitive person, and she just loves to work hard.
I was expecting, a lot of challenges from my teammates, coming into a deep team. I wasn't expecting it to be easy, and it hasn't been, but we've been doing really well, and I have been surprising myself a little bit on offense sometimes.
She's surprised a lot of people, I think, by how quickly she's been able to have an impact.
You don't really know who to put on her because she can shoot and she can post up, she can drive, so her versatility really makes her tough to play against. Wherever she has the ball on the floor, she's a threat to score, and I think that's what really impresses me.
She could play the 5-man. She could play point, she has a good handle, and just her demeanor, she just doesn't want anybody to score on her. And the fact that she's able to do so many offensive things just stands out itself.
Yeah, I just love running the floor and playing fast break, fast pace offense, just scoring and, just being an all-around, intense player, getting loose balls, hustle plays, and, just those exciting plays during the game where, diving on the floor or making a block shot. So that's my favorite part. She goes hard on every play, and she can take you inside or out. There's nobody you can really put on her to stop her. If you want to put somebody big on her, she'll take you out on the 3-point line and shoot on you. And if they put a little person on her, she can post them up.
Wherever the ball is, she seems to be. Or as somebody described it, the ball knows where she is, and the ball finds her all the time. And it's an unbelievable trait for a player.
She has the potential to be great. I mean, she plays hard night in and night out, and with her talent combined, that's what makes her so great. I still have a lot of work that I need to finish up, but I always expected to make a big impact.
She's a scorer, and the kids know it, and you could see it the very first time she stepped on the floor.
With a 17 points per game scoring average and the leading scorer in 8 of her team's 21 games this season, she's already proving to be the leader of the pack in stores. And Maya is not the only freshman helping her team. Here are some other Frosh making an impact this season. Take a look. From UCF, Tia Lewis averaging close to 13 points and a conference-leading 12 rebounds a game. From Xavier, Tasia Phillips scoring over 13 points a game and leads the A-10 in average rebounds a game and field goal percentage. Jontel Lavender at Ohio State leads her team in points and boards a game. Courtney Vandersloot, second in West Coast Conference in assists per night, while at conference rival St. Mary's, Luella Tomlinson leads the nation with 5 blocks a game. And BC's Carolyn Swords, an ACC leading clip of 64% from the field. But no freshman on this list as you look at the top scorers from around the country. Coming out of Middle Tennessee, it's Amber Holt at 26.8 a game. Robert Morris and Idaho State making the list. You got 2 Big East players on there, Angel McCautry from Louisville and Shavante Zealous from Pitt. Candace Parker from the Lady Vols, over 20 points a game. She is the best player in the country.
NCAA basketball on CSTV is being brought to you by Energizer E² Lithium. Keep going. Fans inside the rack saluting all the women's athletic programs here at Rutgers. Right now the Scarlet Knights down by 9 to the nation's #1 team, the UConn Huskies. Greg Amsinger, Debbie Antonelli, we're perched up a little higher. We're not courtside, but I kind of like it. It's a good view from up here.
It's all right.
What are your thoughts on the first half? 9-point ball game.
Well, I think that Rutgers has done a fantastic job getting the tempo where they need it. They have done a really good job of holding Connecticut at only 33 points. I mean, this is the best offensive team in the country. They've done a good job defensively.
In the paint, points in the paint, very important. Tina Charles, for a while there, she wasn't able to be stopped.
Well, she does a great job of getting every 50-50 ball. You're trying to get shoulder to shoulder with the defensive rebounder, and she has the ability with her length to rebound in and out of her area. She's committed to going to the offensive glass. 5 offensive rebounds in the first half. She's got 10 points. She has worked for her own offense. They haven't established her on the blocks in their quarter court set, but she's been great on the offensive glass.
Now, Debbie Antonelli said at the beginning of the game that Kia Vaughn would be the key for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. She has 10 points. Once again, I have to say this, Debbie Antonelli was right.
Well, they had to get her established inside. I think that was the key to get her on the blocks, and she did a fantastic job working for her own offense. She's going to make them try to guard her in the high post. When you watch her offensive rebound, she keeps the ball up high. She finishes strong. She goes 5 for 6. And look at that post move right there. I love the way she has the ability to dominate on the inside with her size. And when you look at Connecticut's field goal percentage, only 39%. That's what I'm talking about with Vivian Stringer's defense. Disruptive, forcing Connecticut out of their rhythm. They've done a good job doing that, but Connecticut has got to take better care of the basketball. 6 turnovers to them, 3 steals for Rutgers. That gives them a chance to generate more possessions.
Gino Auriemma told us if they can get to 65 points, they'll win. They're halfway there, so we'll see. Right now, it's looking pretty good for the UConn Huskies. At the break, it's 33-24. Rutgers trying to hang tough and knock off the nation's #1 team, undefeated UConn. Second half after the break from the rack. We're at the half inside the rack in Piscataway, New Jersey. The Scarlet Knights down by 9 to the nation's #1 team. Rutgers almost ended last year #1 in the nation. They made an incredible run in the NCAA tournament. Flashback here when they beat Duke 53-52. Lindsey Harding missing those free throws. That was amazing. Then they beat Arizona State in the regional final 64-45. Then LSU held the Tigers to 35 points, and the national championship game, they battled hard, but Candace Parker was just too much. The Lady Vols won by 13, and this is the same team, Deb. That's the thing we need to remember. All 5 starters back from that squad.
Now, this is a very good Rutgers team with experience and maturity, and they're going to need all of that here in the second half. And they've done a great job of defending Maya Moore. The leading scorer for Connecticut at 17 points a game has not scored in the first half.
What's going on there? We talked about her in the open of the game, that she is all-world freshman, averaging 17, does it all on the glass, and yet 9 minutes, that's all she played, didn't score.
Part of the reason is she had 2 fouls, and Gino Auriemma was not going to play her to try to risk her getting the third. I think they'll try to get her and Renee Montgomery going early. You've seen Rutgers on the last couple of possessions switching on perimeter screens. Renee Montgomery will be able to recognize that. If she gets the matchup that she likes, she will turn a corner and find a way to score.
What adjustments do you see Vivian Stringer making for Rutgers defensively to try to slow down maybe Montgomery, who's been red hot?
I think we might see the 55 a little bit more. Their full court pressure. They came off of made free throws and showed the pressure. We might see that off of some more. We might also see some more jump defense. You know, they might play a little box and one or a little triangle two, and Vivian Stringer has a lot of stuff in her defensive bag of tricks that she can use.
Now fans at home may be saying, well, you know what, the 55 full court pressure, it looks like it worked every time they did it. But it's almost impossible to run that every single time because of conditioning. Again, they only have 8 players that can play.
It requires a lot of energy, and right now, you know, Connecticut realizes that this is a game that's Rutgers' pace, and I think Gino Auriemma understands that when you come here, that they are going to walk the ball up the court.
19-0 when leading at the half. Outscoring opponents by 20, so Rutgers did a decent job, especially defensively against this team. Again, averaging over 80 points per game. UConn has been unstoppable. They have had games this season, Deb, that, I mean, laughable. It's the only way you can describe some of these scores. 98-35 against Stony Brook to open things up. Bull even skipped down. How about 70-24 against Hartford? 100-50 at Purdue. You saw that one.
That was done in the first minute of the game. They really had the ability to steamroll people. But you got a couple of coaches right here that have won a lot of basketball games. Both are Hall of Famers, both are National Coaches of the Year. They've both been to multiple Final Fours. Of course, Gino Auriemma has 5 national championships. And Vivian Stringer has done something no one else has done, and that is taken 3 different programs to a Final Four. She's a 3-time National Coach of the Year, and the bottom line shows consistency. 28 times in 35 years they've had 20-win seasons. That's just an incredible measurement of how good she has been for a long time.
She is admired by everyone in the game. See Vivian Stringer, a Hall of Famer.
Connecticut starts out in man-to-man.
Asheville has it. She had a great first half, especially on the boards. 5 for the point guard. 10 to shoot. Contested by Tina Charles. Junaid on the offensive glass.
Yeah, great rebound on the weak side by Rashida Junaid.
An important putback there. Junaid has 4.
Connecticut will go against Rutgers' man-to-man defense.
Dixon had a clean look, decided to dribble and go towards the rim. Kia Vaughn got there, contested the shot.
You see, Kia Vaughn understands with those 2 fouls, she does not want to pick up a quick third, so instead of trying to block that shot, she just contests.
Maya Moore does start the second half off the inbounds to Montgomery. It's no good. Rutgers down 7, looking to get off to a hot start here in the second half. Prince, she's been cold, especially her perimeter shot.
Connecticut would love to try to run, but Rutgers' transition defense has been very good. They have not given up any easy transition opportunities.
Here's Maya Moore. 3 doesn't fall. Junaid with another rebound.
Moore off the screen and just can't connect yet. She's 0 for 4 in the basketball game.
Essence Carson also scoreless in this game. Surprising first half stats for some key players on both sides. 33-26. There's Carson, and it doesn't roll.
Great look. Good screen by Vaughn to free her up.
Backdoor feed to Montgomery, and she's fouled.
It's a great ball fake by Brittany Hunter.
And it looks like this one could be on Kia Vaughn, but on the floor right now, Renee Montgomery. Taking her time to get back up. You can't have anything happen to Renee Montgomery.
No, Renee Montgomery has been outstanding. Look at the ball fake by Tina Charles. Great backdoor cut by Montgomery. You see the foul by Vaughn, and Montgomery goes down hard on her hip. Renee Montgomery in 3 of the last 5 games has scored 20 or more. And that's 3 times on the season. So she is really thriving. in her subtle role as a two-guard because she still has point guard responsibilities for Connecticut.
Montgomery has 15 points, 3 of 3 from the charity stripe.
Since Mel Thomas went out, her three-point shooting percentage has gone up also. In the last 5 games, she's been shooting 44% outside the arc.
Here's something to keep an eye on, Deb. Kia Vaughn, 3 fouls now. You can't take her out yet, can you? Can't put her down because she's really the key player offensively so far for Rutgers.
I think Connecticut will attack her on the other end. And they've got Tina Charles, who's been having a very good game, who's very capable of picking up that fourth on Vaughn.
35-26, UConn trying to improve to 22-0. Great look to Epiphany Prince.
See, all that dribbling by Mattia Ajavon sometimes makes the defense stand still. Great basket cut inside by Prince.
The 5'9" sophomore now has 8. Montgomery from the wing. She has 19 points.
Yeah, her three-point shooting, as I mentioned, that's her third of the game.
Coach Stringer has to call a timeout. We talked before the half started. How do you slow down Renee Montgomery? Doesn't seem like it's happening right now. On the other side, Rutgers doing a lot more of this in the second half. 38-28 to score here. 17 and change to go in the ball game. UConn up. Hey, look at that. It's Mike Teal and Kenny Britt, the quarterback and wide receiver for Rutgers Scarlet Knights football team. They'll be waiting to watch tomorrow. Find out where Terrell Pryor, Darryl Scott, and the rest of the high school biggest stars are heading next year. First on CSTV, National Signing Day, a special edition of Generation Next. Ed Orgeron will be in. Tom Lemming, our recruiting expert. All the latest news and in-depth analysis throughout National Signing Day. We are the home of National Signing Day, Debbie.
Where do you think Terrell Pryor's going, Greg?
You know what?
Isn't it between Ohio State and Michigan?
Ohio, well, yep. Oregon's in there.
Okay.
Penn State's still alive. I'm going to guess and say Ohio State.
All right. Well,
because he's a two-sport athlete and he wants to be a good basketball player in the Ohio State basketball program, head and shoulders above the rest right now. That he's considering. There's Junai.
Great dribble drive by Carson.
Junai has 6.
And Carson has got the defensive assignment on Maya Moore. He was trying to deny her from catching.
Sharday Houston trying to use the backcourt, and the ball goes off Kia Vaughn's foot.
Now there's a break for Connecticut. Nobody even near Kia Vaughn.
Kia Vaughn, 10 points in the first half.
And the ball didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock does not reset.
Only 14 to shoot for the Huskies.
Oh, great post by Tina Charles.
Tina Charles. Maya Moore with a key offensive rebound. 6 rebounds for Maya Moore. While she hasn't scored yet, she's working on the glass. Sharday, another jumper. She's not shy tonight. Neither is Tina Charles.
She is busting up the offensive boards tonight. She's elusive, can rebound out of her area with her quickness. She's committed to going to the boards. Watch Maya Moore trying to come off screens to get open, and Nessus Carson's going to box her right under the basket. That is one of the best defenders in the nation, guarding one of the best offensive players in the nation.
Tina Charles misses the free throw. Tina Charles has been fun to watch. Again, only a sophomore. She is going to be impressed. Her numbers, her career numbers, by the time it's all said and done, will be among the best ever for post players at UConn. 16 minutes to go in the ball game. Greg Amsinger, Debbie Antonelli with you. Epiphany Prince to the rack, in the rack, +1.
Wow. She went down hard too, and that is a big-time move.
What a shot in the arm that is for the Scarlet Knights. They needed a momentum-building play, and that's it.
She went hard on that wrist, and you saw Mattia Ajavon pick her up, say, "Get up, we need you." She tried to brace her fall, and then with her hands, and then you see a Connecticut player fall over the top. What body control. Kept her eyes on the rim the whole time, even with the contact.
That is such a hard shot to make. Your body going one direction. incredible. She has 10 points.
I'm telling you, Rutgers is hard to guard off the dribble. It's the hardest thing to defend anyway, anybody who can go off the bounce. And they've got 3 players on the floor that can do it.
40-33, the sellout crowd inside the rack, making noise until Sharday Houston silences them.
See, that's Maya Moore, making everybody else better, finding an open player, not panicking on the baseline.
Maya Moore has yet to score, but Sharday Houston off the bench has 8. Essence Carson still scoreless. Not anymore.
Just inside the arc.
An answer for the Scarlet Knights.
See, Rutgers starting to make a little run right here if they can get a defensive stop.
Moore off the window and her first points of the night.
Yeah, big basket by Maya Moore. You could sense Rutgers mounting a little bit of a run. Crowd getting in it.
Rutgers has won 10 straight on their home floor. They opened the year with a home loss to Stanford. Prince.
Wow, there we go. This is what I like. Players making plays.
The heavyweights are starting to go toe-to-toe. Dixon picks up her dribble. Prince has 14. A block by Prince the other way. Matiajevan can't finish. She heard footsteps, Deb.
Oh my goodness, you got to put that one down. The place was ready to blow the roof off.
Epiphany Prince. Epiphany Prince again, and one. The sophomore starting to take over. We've got a 4-point ball game because of Epiphany Prince. 44-40, don't you go anywhere. We've got a ball game. It's our Big East Women's Basketball Game of the Week on CSTV. UConn, the nation's #1 team, undefeated. It's 44-40. The Scarlet Knights fighting back in large part because of Epiphany Prince. Look at the Giants fans here. The Giants did it, so can Rutgers knock off an undefeated New England team. That being UConn here tonight. The Patriots fell in the Super Bowl. This being Super Tuesday. Can it be? The Huskies lose their first of the season to the Scarlet Knights. Epiphany Prince, awesome here in the second half, Deb.
Well, and I also think that Connecticut having to run their offense at that end of the building into the student section is exactly what Renee Montgomery was talking about this morning. That it is loud and it is hard to run your stuff. And at that end of the floor, that's the loudest because that's the pitch of the student body and they are into the game.
The most intense environment they've played in all season. The free throw is good for Prince.
That is 11 second half points for Epiphany.
They say this is one of the loudest venues in all of college basketball. It being my first time here, I agree.
It's pretty good.
Maya Moore in the corner. Loose ball. Guess who?
Great hustle by Azavon.
13:40 to go.
Well, Prince has had the hot hand. Connecticut goes zone.
Nine to shoot. Azavon. Epiphany Prince. And one. She's on fire. UConn hasn't seen a player take over the game against them like this all year.
Offensive rebound. Prince is taking over. Rutgers was down 10, and then Epiphany Prince has a chance to tie it up at 44.
The third personal on Maya Moore. 19 points. Got out to a slow start shooting from the perimeter in the first half. She's on fire right now. We are all tied, ladies and gentlemen. Soigné in the middle of the floor, breaking the pressure to Montgomery. That ball was deflected by Ajabon. Why not, Epiphany?
It's her ball game right now. It's her backyard.
Running the floor is Maya Moore.
Nice job by Maya Moore to get out behind the defense.
Hope you're having as much fun as we are. 46-46. Greg Amsinger, Debbie Antonelli alongside. The last time these two played was in the Big East Championship game. In and out for Epiphany Prince.
Well, Connecticut can stay in that zone, but they better know where Epiphany Prince is. Everybody has to communicate when she cuts through. They got to know when she's cutting through the zone.
Full court pressure once again. It's deflected. Turnover. Rutgers ball.
Now, I can tell you that that was a point of emphasis in the locker room at halftime for Gino Auriemma. You can tell by his disdain.
Trying to take the lead for the first time since they're up 4-0. 4-2. Prince trying to draw contact. McLaren strong in the low post.
Tough to score on the baseline against that zone right now. You got a lot of size and quickness back there with Charles on one end and Moore on the other.
Gino Auriemma's club is being tested. The fans here smelling an upset.
Only 2 times this season have they scored less than 70 points. And you mentioned earlier, Syracuse played them the closest all year on the road.
The Carrier Dome, impossible to sell that thing out like this venue. 8,000 here in the rack. A foul on the floor on McLaren. What's the story in this game? Easy, 2 words. Epiphany Prince on fire at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all tied. We've got a great one here today. Tune in Sunday for a women's basketball doubleheader. First, it's LaSalle taking the scoring surge. Teresa Lish and the St. Louis Billikens. Then 5, the 22nd ranked Wyoming Cowboys looking to knock off Mountain West Conference foe New Mexico. It's NCAA basketball possession CSTV. Our score right now, 46-46. The nation's #1 team on the ropes here inside the rack. An 8-0 run at the moment, all by Epiphany Prince.
Well, she has been fantastic in the second half. Her burst of speed on the baseline, her ability to get to the free throw line. She's generated some of her own offense with her defense. 4 steals in the basketball game. She is on a run all by herself, and she has eliminated a 10-point deficit. She scored the last 11 points to eliminate that 10-point deficit.
Overall, an 18-8 Rutgers run over the last 5 minutes and 43 seconds. They did the same thing against Pitt in their most recent game. They were down at the half and then came back to score over 40 points in the second half to win the game. Heather Zurikin trying to high-low to Kia Vaughn. Kia does a good job of keeping it alive. Mitzi Ajabon finishes. 2-point lead, Rutgers. Ajabon with 8. We've seen UConn face adversity twice this season as Moore finishes.
Great read by Moore. Carson goes over the top. Moore fans, catches, and finishes.
The fantastic freshman with 6 points.
She's been in double digits every single game of her collegiate career, has Maya Moore.
Zurich in the corner. Tina Charles pulls it down. 9 rebounds for Tina Charles. North Carolina pushed UConn to the brink. So did Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. Rutgers giving them everything they could ask for here tonight. Montgomery. Soigné for three. It's good.
Nice ball movement. Renee Montgomery took a shot, too. It was a terrific read coming off the double screen to draw the help and to dish it to Soigné.
First bucket of the game for Keisha Soigné, the senior point guard who comes off the bench. Essence Carson, great look to Kia Vaughn.
Great steal on the inside by Vaughn. Rutgers has got it going now, inside and out.
No foul there. Montgomery all the way to the window. Tina Charles fighting for it on the offensive glass. It'll stay with UConn.
Watch for Renee Montgomery. She's been very good coming off screens on the out-of-bounds plays.
Maya Moore, great passer.
Kylie McLaren's got the advantage on Zurich inside.
Look at this battle, Charles and Vaughn. Tina Charles wins it.
She is so elusive, so quick. She goes over that left shoulder, tough to deal with, and she stays after her own miss.
She has 14 points and 10 rebounds, her season average. Tina Charles. Under 9, 20 to go now. 53-50 UConn. Trying to build some momentum on the road. Kia Vaughn turning.
Wow, that is all upper body strength right there. I think McLaren had her hand on the ball.
Looked like a near jump. She fought it off the glass and in. 14 points for Kia Vaughn.
Heather Zurich might be one of the best at entering the basketball in the post for Rutgers.
There's Tina Charles again, this time with the left hand.
So quick. Isolation inside, really taking advantage of Vaughn right now defensively.
16 points for Tina Charles. Timeout, C. Vivian. Gino looked like he called that timeout earlier and said, yo, we got to get the ball down low to Tina Charles. She has taken over the last 2 minutes.
Vaughn with 3 fouls, picked up her third early in the second half. She has not scored in the second half, has Vaughn.
Kia Vaughn working down low. She did get her hand on the ball.
That was her first basket of the second half, and then on the other end, Tina Charles using her quickness to go around the best shot blocker in the Big East, Kia Vaughn.
Where do these two post players rank among the best
in
the nation?
Oh, they're good. I mean, you start talking about a list of great post players, you got to talk about Candace Parker, wherever she wants to play. Courtney Paris for Oklahoma. Crystal Langhorne, Laura Harper, Maryland. Erlana Larkins, North Carolina. That's just a short list for you.
In the Big East, you have Mercedes Walker, who played really well for a half against Rutgers, had him on the ropes, injured her ankle. She's day-to-day now. Those are big reasons why Rutgers was able to come back.
We talked about having a block-to-block presence on the inside, and Rutgers has equaled Connecticut.
This crowd has been loud and proud tonight. Epiphany Prince hits again.
That's what's so hard about the Rutgers guards, Greg. They all can take you to the hole, and then it sets up their ability to shoot the perimeter shot.
25 points for Prince. Give and go. What a play. Montgomery finishes.
And Epiphany Prince gets beat on the defensive end. So Vivian Stringer will say, all right, you got us a 3 on one end. You gave up a 2 on the other. Great backdoor cut by Renee Montgomery, who wants the basketball right now for Connecticut.
You said in this game, great guards featured tonight.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Montgomery and Prince are putting on a clinic.
2 of the best underclassmen, just a junior, Renee Montgomery.
Could she be an All-American?
On the beginning of the year, I had her on my top 10. I really believe that if Connecticut was going to have this kind of success, it was going to be because Renee Montgomery was on top of her game. She's a winner.
Kia Vaughn with 4 personal fouls. That could change the outcome of this game. She has to sit. Under 8 to play. 3-point ball game. Rashida Janai put the ball on the floor. That's a problem. Loose ball. They call a jump. Possession arrow to UConn. The rack has been rocking all night long for a good reason. Down by just 3 points. Back live inside the rack at Piscataway, 58-55, the nation's #1 team being tested by Conference Pro Rutgers. And right now, Kia Vaughn, the star center for the Scarlet Knights with 4 personal fouls. Debbie Antonelli, you tell me, how different are the Scarlet Knights when Kia Vaughn isn't in the game? Because she's got to sit right now.
Well, it is a factor for sure, but Rashida Junaid has developed into a nice counter on the interior. So Junaid is going to have to be able to handle the presence of Connecticut's offensive rebounding. They're going to need help, and the guards are going to have to help inside rebounding without going on the floor.
Heather Zurich is in the game. There's Rashida Junaid, you just saw. You have to figure UConn is going to go down low.
And did Connecticut withstand the only run that Rutgers might have? Is there another run for Rutgers?
Coach Stringer sure hopes so. 7.5 to play. Rutgers shooting 62% here in the second half.
Oh, wow, what a great run. How did she come down with that?
She almost made a tough shot with no angle.
See how methodically Connecticut ran their stuff, a good rhythm team, trying to get the ball in the right place. Swanya had a great look.
Epiphany Prince has it. Essence Carson has been quiet in this game. Zurich for 3. Big shot for number 21.
And that's why Zurich is on the floor to shoot the open jump shot.
Her foot was on the line, her first bucket of the game. Rutgers down by just 1.
I thought we'd see more zone with Zurich on the floor.
Collie McLaren walks with it. Heather Zurich can do this if she's open. She needs a look, though.
They go inside and then out. Zurich does a nice job relocating on the perimeter. You saw her foot on the line. Connecticut staying in their man.
Skip pass to Essence Carson. She thought about it. Dumps up. Junaid. Can't put it down from close range. UConn looks to run. McLaren can hit that shot. Not there. Can't give UConn second chance points. In a game like this, down 1, every defensive rebound so crucial to the Scarlet Knights.
And here's the walk up the floor.
The last time these two teams played here at the rack, final score is 70-44 UConn. Much closer this time around.
Nice set Rutgers ran, but I'd like to see him run it for Epiphany Prince to make sure she doesn't cool off.
The sophomore has 25 points tonight. Under 5.5 to play.
Good defense by Montgomery.
Prince wants to take it. She draws the foul on McLaren.
See, and this is where the maturity level of Epiphany Prince on the offensive end has grown. The switch defensively, she gets a big honor. She recognizes it, and she goes straight to the paint. Undersized against the taller Connecticut players, but so crafty at initiating contact and getting herself to the line.
Prince having a career night, 26 points. What a stretch this has been for Rutgers. They're not done. They played 4 ranked opponents for the first time in school history, back to back to back.
Now this is West Virginia's ranking when they played them, Pittsburgh's ranking when they played them. Those rankings have changed. And Tennessee has to play on the road at Mississippi State. Rutgers does not play again until they go to Knoxville next Monday night.
Rematch of the national championship game. 27 points for Epiphany Prince. 21 in the second half, Deb. Full court pressure.
55 defense.
Brittany Hunter gets it to Tina Charles.
So this is where you get composed. Now you take a deep breath, run your stuff. You beat the pressure, don't panic.
Swanya turns it over. What a steal from Prince.
Quick hands.
Denied. Turnaround was blocked. Prince draws contact. She'll go to the line. What a performance from the 5'9" sophomore.
Good ball fake. Nice job on the drive. Gets to the front of the rim, putting pressure on that back row of Connecticut. She has been consistent off the bounce all game.
Epiphany's high this year, 22 points against St. Joe's. Make that against Maryland. Split against Maryland, scored 22. There you see Kia Vaughn checking back into the game. And how about the job from Rashida Janai?
Absolutely. Listen to this crowd. They recognize it. Let's see if Connecticut can go right at Vaughn. It would be a huge emotional play for them if they could get her to pick up her fifth.
9 of 9 from the free throw line. Epiphany Prince.
And with Maya McCurdy on the floor, they go to their 55 full court pressure. She's got more.
Career high for Prince. Biggest lead of the night. Second biggest. They're up 4-0 to open the game. Maya Moore.
Big shot. Huge for the freshman, who did not score in the first half, has 9 second-half points.
What an answer from the Huskies.
This is great.
A heavyweight bout. Essence Carson, just 2 points here tonight. Ball out of bounds, went off Prince's hands last.
Great anticipation by Soignier.
Maya Moore, you need a big shot. Why not go to the best freshman in the country? This three ties us at 61. NCAA basketball on CSTV has been brought to you by Sirius Satellite Radio. Hear what you've been missing on Sirius, the best radio on radio. The #1 women's team is on the floor tonight and in trouble. Saturday at 4, will the other #1 be in trouble as well? The Memphis Tigers, #1 in men's basketball with Chris Douglas-Roberts and Derrick Rose, will square off against UCF. It's NCAA basketball possession, CSTV. #1 UConn on CSTV, #1 Memphis on CSTV. It's Greg Amsinger, Debbie Antonelli coming to you from the rack live at Piscataway. 16 fouls on the Huskies. We're all tied at 61, under 4 minutes to play in this ball game. You see the possession arrow going to Rutgers. 3 timeouts for each squad. And the Scarlet Knights have battled back, a completely different squad than what we saw in the first half, Deb.
What a fantastic job led by Epiphany Prince, who I think has put all 16 fouls on Connecticut herself with her dribble drive ability.
Maya Moore will inbound. Full court pressure from the Scarlet Knights.
Vaughn's got to be careful on the basketball here.
She's caught way out, guarding Soignier, a much quicker player. Soignier, and a push off there. If that's on Maya Moore, that would be her 4th.
And that puts Rutgers to the free throw line in the bonus.
4 personals on Maya Moore.
Maya Moore has played 25 minutes. She's 4 for 9 from the floor, 1 for 5 outside the arc.
9 points, 9 rebounds for Moore. Carson at the line, hits the front end. Free throws will be crucial throughout the remainder of this game. Neither team a good free throw shooting squad.
And Essence Carson on the season only 55% from the arc. All of her offensive numbers are down a little bit this year. She's been battling with a stress fracture, but she's making them when the game's on the line.
3 points, 3 rebounds for the senior leader of his squad. 2-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year, Essence Carson, gives Rutgers a 2-point lead.
And Rutgers with the lead brings the pressure again. We do not want Connecticut to get comfortable.
Near steal. McCurdy trying to come up with it. Soignier having all kinds of problems. Azabal has it. And it's out of bounds off Prince.
They steal it, and then they give it right back. You got to have that steal score mentality.
This press is working. Ajavon, another steal. Trying to draw contact. Look at the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, they got to calm down right here. You see Estes Carson go, whoa, that's a veteran for you.
Coach on the floor.
Who's capable of playing the point guard position.
3 minutes to go in a classic from Piscataway. Rutgers 15 points off 13 UConn turnovers. And a three from the team.
The full court pressure has hampered Connecticut all game.
Prince is called with the foul. She had her hand in there. And look at the face of Gino Auriemma. That says it all.
Where's the defense? A three-point shooter, hands down, can't close quick enough. And it's the dribble drive of Rutgers that has Connecticut on their heels at the arc.
What a feed. Renee Montgomery with an easy two.
Great play. You're going to bring that full court pressure, all that heat up front. You can't get beat on the backside.
Montgomery has 24 points tonight.
Great composure by Connecticut, who struggled to handle the pressure. Gets a great play.
A much-needed bucket. 3-point ball game now. Prince has it. 11 to shoot.
They clear it out for Prince.
People here haven't seen plays like that since Kathy Pondexter was dominating the Big East. She has 31. Ryan Moore. Can Renee answer? No. And Prince. Who else?
Well, Connecticut's got to get a stop right here. They've got time. Rutgers wants a timeout.
This place is bouncing. The nation's #1 team on the ropes because of number 10 in the white and scarlet. Epiphany Prince with 31 points and 6 rebounds. A career high in points for the sophomore. Her game is clicking on all cylinders tonight.
It's at a whole other level. This is the best defense in America, and she has dropped 31 on them. It's an incredible individual performance by Epiphany Prince.
The nation is watching this game, and everyone is taking notice of how good this sophomore is. You're looking at a player that's going to be around for a long time. 32 points for Prince. A minute 43 to go. Rutgers holding on to a 5-point lead.
Here comes some pressure by Connecticut.
Carson will inbound.
They're looking to foul right away, and they foul Epiphany Prince. She and Mattia Ajavon are the best free throw shooters on the team. #1 and undefeated Connecticut on the road at Rutgers, and Rutgers has won 3 of the last 5 matchups in this series. And until then, it wasn't really a rivalry because Connecticut dominated.
They have a 20-5 advantage in the series history. The last time they played here in the rack, as Prince misses a very important front end, but a lane violation on Dixon. Talk about a crucial freshman mistake.
Connecticut has won or shared 9 of the last regular season and tournament titles. They have been dominant in the Big East.
Oh, that lane violation could give Rutgers 2 points. Dixon has played well. She's being inserted into the starting lineup as the point guard with Mel Thomas's injury. But my, oh my, that mistake is crucial here. It is now a 7-point game. Largest lead of the night for the 7th-ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights, trying to knock off the undefeated and top-ranked UConn Huskies at home. Maya Moore, oh my goodness. A much-needed 3 cuts the deficit to 4. Moore with 12. Great look there from Soignier.
This is the 4th time all season that Rutgers has scored 70. Maya Moore, it's the 2nd big 3 late in the game that she's hit. It puts her into double figures in every single game of her collegiate career. And Gino Auriemma always says, it's not how many 3s you hit, but when you hit them. She gives her team a chance.
8 fouls, 4 for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Timeouts remaining, UConn has 2. Look at this. How many times have they started 19-0? They're 21-0 now.
Well, 6 other times they started 19-0, and 4 of those they won national championships.
Fast break.
That's the best free throw shooter right here, Mattia Ajavon. They're trying to foul her. Good job. She hangs on to the basketball so she can go to the line. It's a senior who's been in this position before.
26 of Rutgers' 46 second-half points scored by Epiphany Prince. Ajavon at the line, 77% for the season. An important free throw there.
It's still a 2-possession game right now for Connecticut, depending on what happens here. You got to guard Maya Moore. She's had the hot hand outside the arc.
6 of 7 from the line now, Ajavon. The lead back to 6.
I think you can get a 2, though. You get the best shot available.
Moore.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's with the best defensive player in the Big East in your face.
15 points, all in the second half, Deb.
It's been fantastic. Maya Moore has hit all the late 3s. Watch this, she comes off the dribble drive. Lauren Dixon does a great job setting her up. Maya Moore does great shot prep, quickly gets into her jumper. With Carson right there to contest.
Women's basketball will say, everyone around the sport will say Candace Parker is the best player in the game. Maya Moore could be taking that title from her when her days are over at Tennessee. She leads the team in scoring as a freshman. Tonight, 15 points, 9 rebounds. In the first half, Maya 0 of 3 from the floor. In the second half, when they needed her the most, 6 of 8. Carson will bring it up. Guarded by Soignier.
Good defense right here by Connecticut, not trying to foul. You want to play good D and get a stop.
Ajavon goes baseline to Prince. What a block from Tina Charles. We're down to 12 on the shot clock. 44 in the game. We're down to 5 to shoot. Ajavon's going to have to do something with it. The 3. And it's a shot clock violation. It did not touch the rim. 34 seconds to play in the game.
Great defense by Connecticut. Force a tough shot. Oh, Vivian Stringer wanted a timeout, but the officials didn't see it.
So UConn brings it up.
You can get a 2 here. And Gino Auriemma's going to call a timeout.
Do you try for an easy 2? With Rutgers' defense, it doesn't seem like anything's going to be easy. So why not run the offense and try to get it to an open 3 shooter like Maya Moore has been feeling it?
You've got plenty of time here that you can get the best shot available. And if it's Maya Moore and she's open outside the arc, I think she'll take it. Otherwise, you want to try to get something going to the basket, put pressure on Rutgers. They do not want to foul. Rutgers will switch on everything defensively so that they can keep the pressure on and contest.
UConn, the nation's #1 team, on the ropes. Our Big East women's basketball game of the week could not be any better. We are 28 seconds away from a huge upset.
Well, the 31 points that Epiphany Prince has put on Connecticut is the most this season. Angel McCautry from Louisville dropped 30 on him in a game earlier this season. What a great individual performance.
To give you some perspective here, Rutgers, 2 games ago, lost on the road at West Virginia. The same West Virginia team that lost to UConn 84-48. Rutgers, on any given night, can play like the best team in women's basketball. Tonight, they're playing that way. And it's all because of her.
And it's 33, not 31. She's got 33 points.
Epiphany Prince.
Rutgers does not want to foul.
26 seconds to play. Kylie McLaren. She's a good perimeter shooter for a post play. Trying to get the ball to Maya Moore, just fouled.
They have fouls to give, so they can commit that foul there and force Connecticut to inbound it again. That is only the 5th team foul on Rutgers.
Shot clock is now off. 16 seconds to play.
They could still foul one more time.
Soigné guarded by Ajavon. Montgomery can't handle the pass. Ajavon. It's Carson who's fouled. That's his Carson. Will go to the free throw line. Looking to ice an upset win over the nation's #1 team.
The ball slips through Renee Montgomery's hand. She's had a fantastic game. Essence Carson comes up with the loose basketball, gets fouled, and goes to the line. She made her last 2.
Carson 2 of 2 from the line tonight. First free throw's no good.
This can make, you gotta have this one to make it a 2 possession.
A sellout crowd here inside the rack. On its feet at the moment. Begging for this free throw to go in from Essence Carson. And it does.
And Vivian Stringer wants to call her final timeout. A 4-point game. What an incredible game plan by Rutgers. The 55 full court pressure defense was the difference. Down 10 early in the second half. Epiphany Prince scored 11 consecutive points to give Rutgers the lead. What a fantastic individual performance. 33 points for the sophomore. She has not missed a free throw. She's got 6 steals to go along with her 33.
UConn has won 34 straight regular season games. They own the Big East in the regular season. And what an upset this would be. Rutgers ranked 7th in the country. Very good team. But let's remind you, UConn has won all 21 of its games by an average of 35 points. Only 2 times this season, UConn has not scored more than 70 points. Right now, it's 69.
This crowd has been incredible and has factored in to Connecticut's ability to communicate on the offensive end. Now, Connecticut has got to look to score very quickly here. Rutgers does not want to foul, cannot get beat over the top. McCurdy will be on the ball.
McLaren will inbound for the Huskies. To Soigné, 5 seconds. Down to 3. Off the window, it's good. With 4/10 of a second remaining.
No timeouts for Connecticut.
All Rutgers needs to do is inbound. They do, and they have knocked off the nation's #1 team in women's basketball. Prince. Coach Stringer, what a win. A sellout crowd enjoyed every minute of it. Gino Auriemma, the undefeated streak this season ends at 21 games. And what a win for the seniors on this Scarlet Knight squad. Time now for our serious player of the game. And who do you think it's going to be? The 5'9" sophomore, Epiphany Prince. 33 points, a career high, 6 rebounds, 6 steals. She took over in the second half. Epiphany Prince, dominant. UConn simply couldn't stop her. Our serious player of the game. We'll be back with much more from the rack. What an upset. The Scarlet Knights knock off the #1 ranked Huskies. Undefeated no more. That is right. The record slips to 21-1 as UConn falls to the Scarlet Knights 73-71. Let's send it to Debbie Antonelli. Deb.
All right, Greg. Coach, congratulations on the win. You're down 10 points early in the second half. How'd you get back in the game?
We didn't think about being down. I thought that we just wanted to try to take one possession at a time. We really worked hard on defense and getting stops, and then just trying to execute a little bit more on the offense. And I thought everyone came to play today, thank goodness.
You told me this morning that your 55 defense wasn't quite ready. How would you measure it in their performance today against Connecticut?
It's getting ready to break out. Let's go like that. We're still not quite there, but hopefully when we get Brittany, then we'll have a little more bench and we can go a little longer.
Coach, congratulations. Let's get Epiphany in here. Epiphany, congratulations, 33 points. What was working for you offensively in the second half?
I just came out. My team always told me to keep shooting. They labeled me as the finisher of the team, so they told me to keep shooting. Eventually, they're going to fall in, and once one fell in, I just wanted to keep putting it up, and it was falling, so I just kept attacking them.
In the first half, you established key on the inside. Second half, it was all you. Down 10, you scored 11 consecutive points. You seemed to be able to get to the rim pretty easily. What was working for you off the dribble, and how were you able to get inside their defense?
Once I hit a couple of threes, I knew they would go for my head fake, so I just kept trying to fake them out and just keep driving in, and it was working.
Well, congratulations, Epiphany. Another huge performance out of the young sophomore, Greg. What a big win for Rutgers.
An amazing upset. Rutgers scored 49 points in the second half against the nation's #1 defense. How about this? UConn, 51-6 in the last 4 seasons in Big East play. 4 of those 6 conference losses to Rutgers. Our final score tonight, 73-71 Rutgers. For Debbie Antonelli and our entire CSTV crew, I'm Greg Amsinger. For the latest news, scores, news, and highlights, go to CSTV.com. UConn, the nation's #1 team, falls on the road. A sellout crowd. Watch an incredible performance from the Scarlet Knights. The crowd went crazy, and so did the play on the court. Thanks for watching.